Hello, drama lovers, welcome to my Young and the Restless official channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Before we dive into today's content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and show some love by giving this video a like up. According to the Young and the Restless teasers, Martin Laurent alias Alan Laurent may kidnap Traci Abbott next. Martin may refuse to let his romantic bubble shatter, so let's discuss how things could turn out. At this time, it's clear that Alan is his twin brother Martin. Martin was a vicious sociopath who pushed Alan over the balcony edge during their confrontation in France, as Y&R fans will know. Despite the fact that Alan was thought to have survived the fall, Martin appears to be the twin who emerged alive. Martin deceives Traci into believing he is the man of her dreams by playing the role of Alan. Martin, on the other hand, appears to sincerely care for Traci and is unlikely to let her go. Viewers heard Martin's statement on how Traci helped him become a better man, so he may have convinced himself that he is worthy of someone like her. Perhaps Martin believes that getting Traci to fall for him proves that he is not the monster everyone thought he was. If Martin loses Traci now, his illusion will be shattered. Martin is content to continue playing the role of polite, average Alan, but he hasn't changed much since directing Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers' kidnapping drama. Unfortunately, Martin may kidnap someone else before his plot ends. Will Traci become Martin's next abductee and end up in a perilous situation? When Martin notices Traci with his phone in her hands, there will be trouble. Traci may query Alan about the clinic security breach texts he has been receiving, wondering what is going on. Of course, Sharon and Phyllis' discovery at Havenhurst Psychiatric Clinic will be big news in Genoa City. Traci may figure out that Alan was behind that terrifying game and eventually get him to acknowledge he's Martin. This could escalate to Martin holding Traci captive somewhere else and threatening to kill them both. Martin emphasized that he couldn't envision his life without Traci, so Y&R may take a till death do us part approach now that he's been making all these lofty predictions about their marriage. Traci may find herself in serious need of a rescue, so stay tuned for updates on all of the twists and turns ahead. According to the Young and the Restless spoilers, Traci may be the next hostage character forced to struggle for survival. According to teasers from the Young and the Restless, at least 4 revenge plots will flare up. These DC residents will not be able to resist payback, so let's talk about what's next on the CBS soap. Jack retaliates against Victor's spy. Since Victor Newman installed spies at Jabbott, Jack Abbott is certain to respond once he finds out. Jack will eventually learn about Victor's covert ploy and respond with a vengeful power play. Victor and Jack are locked in a bad cycle because they continuously trying to settle the score. There is no prospect of that changing anytime soon, therefore Jack will exact revenge on Victor's spies and keep this war continuing. Billy's vengeful media campaign. Billy Abbott is also getting ready for a nasty media launch because part of him still wants to crush Victor and Adam Newman. When Abbott Communications makes a big splash in the media, Billy will see it as an opportunity to exact retribution. Despite Billy's efforts to persuade everyone that he has moved past his need for retribution, he will find it difficult to move on. Billy is going to fight hard against Newman Media and appears to have plans for Chancellor as well. Summer retaliates over stolen life. Summer Newman is already devising methods to get between Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman whenever feasible. The longer this drama continues, Summer may feel more entitled to a reunion with Kyle. According to Y&R previews, Summer may begin to feel as if Claire has taken over her former life now that she is Kyle's girlfriend. If Summer begins to fantasize about Claire's marriage to Kyle, as well as the potential of her cousin becoming Harrison Abbott's stepmother, she may lose control. Summer may become angry of Claire for stealing her place in Kyle's universe, and she may get back and seek to restore it. That would be sweet payback for Summer. But will her efforts be worthwhile? Damien's underlying agenda results in a vengeful response. Damien Kane has a hidden goal that will undoubtedly cause disaster. Nate Hastings has tried to remain optimistic about his half-brother, but he can't deny that Damien is acting shady and harboring secrets. Damien may face vengeful repercussions if further information about his true intentions and motivations is revealed. Nate, Devin Winters, and even Lily Winters might hold Damien accountable for any future evil deeds. According to the Young and the Restless spoilers, retribution will continue to be a potent motivator in Genoa City, so stay tuned for any additional payback developments. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon Newman could have 4 new romance alternatives to consider. Who will help Sharon move on from Nick Newman now that he's shut down a reunion? Sharon might get together with another ex on Canvas, but let's focus on some brand new matching options instead. It's always wonderful when the show can mix things up with some fresh flying sparks, so here are some new romance options for Sharon. Holden Novak would certainly like to resume his romance with Audra Charles, but she may keep putting up a fight since she's devoted to Nate Hastings. Although Holden flirted with Claire Newman as well, she's made a commitment of her own to Kyle Abbott and may not be willing to stray. It's easy to envision Holden looking elsewhere for a spicy connection at some time. It wouldn't necessarily have to be anything serious between them, but Sharon and Holden just may have some chemistry if given the chance. Should Y&R let Holden and Sharon hit the sheets? Damien Kane is another new guy on Canvas who isn't formally taken yet. Although Damien is exhibiting interest in Lily Winters, Chair likely to hit some huge hurdles in the future. Damien is holding secrets when it comes to his agenda, so Lily won't be thrilled if more details come to light. If Lily ultimately rejects Damien, at least for a while, he might land in bed with someone else. Would you be open to a Sharon and Damien pairing, even if it's just a one-night stand? Aristotle Dumas. There's been a lot of chatter about Aristotle Dumas, so maybe Sharon may become a love interest possibility for him once he inevitably enters Genoa City. It may be interesting to see Sharon fall for this sleazy business mogul and perhaps bring out a softer side of him. Although Daniel Romalotti Jr. plainly isn't fresh on Canvas, his romance with Sharon, maybe if Y&R chose to go there. Could Sharon and Daniel make a decent match after moving beyond all the anguish of the past? We can't think of a better way to put Sharon and Phyllis Summers' newfound understanding to the test than to have Sharon sizzle with her son. Regardless, the Young and the Restless spoilers suggest Sharon deserves an opportunity to move on from Nick, so who will help her get started on that? Sharon will make some guesses about what's next and try to work things out, so stay tuned for updates on any big love news that might be ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers for March 22 state that Martin Laurent's spectacular final will get underway while Chance Chancellor sends along a clue. Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman will also face their last chance to survive, so let's speak about what's coming up. In captivity, Sharon and Phyllis will try to narrow down where exactly in the room the camera is. The idea will be to switch it off and interrupt the kidnapper's fun so that he'll ultimately be forced to show his face. However, Phyllis and Sharon might be punished for trying to set their own rules. This is an extremely intricate experiment that was built with ultimate control in mind, so Martin, who is presumably posing as his twin brother, Alan Laurent, may react. Whatever the case, Martin will definitely have some type of big conclusion in mind when it comes to this kidnapping turmoil. Phyllis and Sharon will find themselves in a desperate struggle to survive. Therefore, there may be an explosive device with a countdown or possibly some sort of toxic gas that gets pumped in the room. Of course, it's likely Alan will excuse himself from his engagement celebration with Traci Abbott, Beth Maitland, and head over to Havenhurst at some time. Could that lead to Alan getting busted there? Regardless, Y&R spoilers indicate Nick Newman and Billy Abbott will eventually arrive at the clinic in hopes of pulling off a rescue. Chance won't be far behind and will arrive with updates on a clue, so this might help them save the captives and potentially expose Alan as well. It sounds like Martin may lose control of his plot, so that should produce some wild moments. The conclusion of this kidnapping plot will provide some terrible twists and turns, but Phyllis and Sharon will score freedom in the end. Sadly, The Young and the Restless spoilers claim Traci will experience absolute sorrow when she finds everything she thought she knew about Alan is a fake. Although Traci will continue making predictions about her bright future with Alan, she'll definitely face some crushing news shortly. The Young and the Restless spoilers state that Phyllis Summers is battling with some worrisome symptoms that could spell catastrophe. Could Martin Laurent aka Alan Laurent have planned for some delayed poison effects? During Phyllis' stay in captivity, she drank a bottle of water and fell gravely ill soon after. Phyllis was in extreme agony owing to the burn in her stomach and might have faced a dismal conclusion without the remedy Sharon Newman found. However, there's no guarantee that antidote was safe considering it originated from a crazy. It's likely that Phyllis was given something to neutralize the toxin while setting her up for greater health concerns later. Phyllis felt relief immediately, but now some delayed poison effects could be kicking in if that's what Twisted Martin had in mind. We surely wouldn't put it past Martin to build some further dark levels to his idea. In Y&R's March 19 episode, Summer Newman gave Sharon and Nick Newman some frightening details about Phyllis following the kidnapping ordeal. According to Summer, Phyllis seems weird and has been exhibiting some strange behavior. Summer's used to Phyllis being highly focused, but suddenly she's disorganized and losing her line of thought in a simple discussion. It's conceivable Phyllis is coping with PTSD or just having a tough time adjusting to her actual life again. That said, there's a potential something more serious is going on here. Sharon and Phyllis were examined out by paramedics following all the kidnapping turmoil, but they definitely should have received a more comprehensive checkup at the hospital. Since Sharon observed Phyllis' medical crisis when they were locked up, she aired worries of her own in the March 19 episode and insisted Phyllis might need a doctor. Phyllis was sedated to get her into captivity before consuming poison and a potentially dodgy antidote, so she's had all kinds of unidentifiable substances in her system. Could Martin have another trick up his sleeve when it comes to the residual consequences on Phyllis? Time will tell, but Summer will continue to make some alarming predictions about Phyllis' condition. The Young and the Restless spoilers claim Billy Abbott will try to aid Phyllis as well in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for further news on her condition.